Hello, gorgeous. The Beatles released a song. It's hard to believe this is true, but it is. And I consider myself a pretty big fan. So to have the opportunity to listen to one of their new songs with you for the first time is... I'm so excited. So this song's been produced by Giles Martin, son of George Martin, the original Beatles producer, and it is brought to us by the godly powers of artificial intelligence. And as much as it's very easy to hate on that, I cannot hate on there being a new Beatles song. I've tried. What this technology has been able to do is separate John Lennon's original demo that he recorded on like a shitty cassette somewhere and isolate it cleanly enough that it can be used in a proper studio music production. Let's have a bloody go at it, shall we? Oh my God, I can't believe this is real. Oh, this is really cool. 1, 2, 3. That intro was bloody brilliant. It really gave me the sense of like they were taking their time to warm up because it had been a while. Tune their strings up and piss about a bit, cough their lungs up. Putting in the cassette is chilling. One would assume that that is the cassette that John Lennon recorded his demo to. Oh, can you imagine? I'm shuddering at the thought. What someone would pay to own that cassette. I can't. And that's the point.
I know it's true. It's all because of you. And if I make it through, it's all because of you. And now and then, if we must start again, well, we will know for sure that I will love you.
Blimey, that was a spicy little riff. You don't usually hear many of those in Beatles songs. It was a really classy way to make that ending have a little bit more impact and drama when we just get to hear John's voice straight away. Wow. I was really anticipating what the quality of that vocal performance is like. How good could it possibly be extracted from a cassette? But bloody hell, it really is good. Although songs that are recorded now are like super crisp in terms of quality, the Beatles songs wouldn't have been that crisp in quality because they were recorded so long ago. It's really that same kind of vintage effect that we know and love and expect from them. There's a lot of double tension. Like the way this riff ends, is tense, and then it's love, which is also tense, until it resolves you. And the fact that we get that da resolution on love you. Whatever happens, I love you. It's like, oh, I really felt that more. Oh, wow. And they had the word love in the background at the same time. And I think that is one of the reasons songs get this happy, sad kind of vibe. Like one of my favourite songs, God Only Knows.
God only knows what I'd be without you.
There's a lot of dissonance and there's a lot of tension in it. But because it's so frequent, you kind of get used to it. So you sit in it. And so it doesn't make you feel sad, but it just makes you feel tense. John Lennon, eh? Oh, John. He really knew how to bloody write a song, didn't he?
Now and then, I miss you. Oh, now and then, I want you to be there for me, always to return to me. I know it's true.
to see Ringo wearing his own merch. It's 2 Ringos. I mean, you've got to. I wear my own merch, not of my own face, but I hope to get to that confidence level one day. I don't know if Ringo and Paul needed to be green screened. They could have probably organised a get together to perform that. But the fact that all 4 of them were green screened so that George Harrison and John Lennon could be in it and they all looked equal because they were all not really there. The emotion that Ringo poured into that line, he really meant it. He was 100% full body, mind and soul in that. I really love those charming little timing imperfections, like one of them rounding off the word I won't, like a little bit early, you can hear that T. Everything now is so clean and so clinical, and that's become the standard. But what a gift it is to have a song in the charts right now with those beautiful imperfections, because they're real. We can hear that honesty through those imperfections, and it really helps us sink into the song deeper. The way that George looked at Paul there, it was like, oh, yep. Oh, and they managed to make it look like he was singing Stay at the same time. Fuck me. Wow. I just thought about how many more of these there could be, because John Lennon and Paul McCartney were both prolific songwriters, so I'm sure there are more tapes like this with the technology available now. Oh, wasn't that exciting? Now and then, I miss you. Oh, now and then. I do love a good ah section in a song. One of the reasons it's so good is because of this combination of ahs and oohs. They are like peas in a pod. As soon as you modulate that vowel from ah to ooh, we get something more sort of introspective and withdrawn. And then when you change it back to ah again, it sounds more exaltation-y. That's not a word, but you get the gist. It's a way to make something that would have before been maybe a little bit too simple. Still simple, but interesting enough. That sums up a lot of the Beatles' music, actually. It's very subtle things like making sure the right words fall on the right harmony. We can totally tell that John wrote this because it's classic John Lennon song form. Like the first verse and then that verse that came after the chorus were identical in lyrics for the first 2 lines, and then it was just the ending where the lyrics changed, but the melody was the same. Exactly like Imagine. This is a really interesting lesson. Often when we add too many melodies to the song, nothing is memorable. It's much better when we focus on just having very high quality, very interesting, very pleasant melodies and not as many of them. I wonder if Paul McCartney ever imagined when he was that age to see his 30-year-old self with his 80-year-old self next to him. He's not 80, is he? Oh, he's 81. Music keeps you young, I guess. So Ringo Starr, I've just looked it up. He's 83. How on earth does he look better at 83 than he did when he was 30? What is that? It's a flagrant violation of the laws of biology. I love that they managed to really capture the Beatles' sense of humour. I have laughed many a laugh watching some of their interviews.
For the name Beatles, and what does it really mean?
It means Beatles, doesn't it? That's just a name, like shoe.
They're hilarious. I've always loved Paul McCartney's bass playing. This is a true story. Even though I'm not left-handed, I initially started to learn bass on a left-handed bass, you know, to try and be more like Paul McCartney, but it didn't work. I was always inspired by his technique in that he doesn't use the normal like bass fingers. He plays the bass more like a guitar. One of the first songs I ever learnt on bass was I Want to Hold Your Hand. Yeah, I got that something. Do, 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 do. Yeah. Anyway.
It's all because of you. And if I make it through, it's all because of you.
Oh, bloody hell. I didn't think about the fact that I was probably going to cry through this. Oh, that's inconvenient. Crikey, I enjoyed that so much. It was such a thought-provoking climax of the song because from like the midway point, it became very obvious to me that they were working their way backwards, watching them get younger and younger and younger, as in the inverse of reality, was so deeply nostalgic, and it gave me a myriad of emotions that I was trying to process while enjoying the song at the same time. I don't think they needed to fade them out at the end. That seems unnecessarily sad and scarily finite. Humongous respect for whoever arranged this. Those big instrumental sections, the strings, they've managed to construct a song around those little sections that they would have had from the demo. It's remarkable how I already feel like I know this song, but I've heard it once. And that is 100% due to the effectiveness of the melodic composition. I've been lucky enough to work at Abbey Road Studios many times, coaching singers, and I've become friendly with a lot of the engineers there. And they said whenever they encounter Paul McCartney, he's just the nicest, like most normalist, humble dad type person that you could ever meet, and he genuinely just wants to make music. Isn't that so profound? After all of that success, that unconditional love and deep need to create music throughout their whole lives.
It could have been called the shoes for all you know.
Before you nip off, let's read out today's oracle card. The fuck up ferret. If we never fucked up and never ever made a bad decision, then we would never grow. Did you fuck up big time? Or maybe someone fucked your shit up? Fuck ups, my friend, are an essential part of life. They hurt like crazy, but they push you to your limits to find your strengths and quite literally change your life. A bit like a zombie apocalypse. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it, and that it might warrant your extremely valuable like and subscription to my channel. If this is the sort of thing that tickles your pickle, you might be interested in this video. If you managed to make it to the premiere, then a big premiere hug for you, and if you're here at any other time, a big hug for you too. I really hope to see you back here again soon, but until then, love you, bye! It's too exciting. I can't talk about how exciting it is because this isn't as realistic. It's quite creepy, actually. It reminds me of this really weird show I used to watch when I was a kid.
You're going straight back to jail.
And they played so much. They worked 8 days a week. Peace and love. Is assumedly, I don't actually know how to say that word. This was so nice.